So happy Monday, April 14th, 2025 to all. Holy Monday. Our scripture for today will be looking out of the book of Luke in chapter 19, verses 45 through 48. As we know, yesterday was Palm Sunday, and I hope you all enjoyed learning everything about Palm Sunday and all that we need to know leading up to Jesus' death, burial, and resurrection. The city hadn't even caught its breath. Yesterday, it's echoed with hosannas, cheers, laughter, palm branches, waving like banners of hope. People had laid down their coats like a carpet for a king. Jesus had arrived. But now, it's Monday morning and something shifts. Jesus returns to the temple in the heart of the city, the heartbeat of worship. But what does he find? Not prayer, not awe, not reverence. Instead, coins clinking, voices haggling, people shouting prices, worship reduced to a marketplace. And then the sound that broke the silence. A table crashes, coins shatter like raindrops, birds flap and cages tumble. Gasps and screams, footsteps. Jesus is standing there, eyes blazing, not with rage, but with holy sorrow. He speaks not with volume, but with authority that shakes the soul. It is written, "My house will be a house of prayer, but you have made it a den of thieves." In one moment, everything stops. But what the people saw as normal was a tragedy. Worship wasn't about God anymore. It was about profit, position, power. Today is Holy Monday. It's a day that Jesus walked into the temple and flipped more than tables. He flipped expectations. People thought that he was going to be a person to save people from the power of Rome and rescue them, just like they were rescued in the Old Testament from Egypt. He reminded us worship isn't business, it's sacred. He reminds us of that, because sometimes we may work at a church, if we do, and worship is not you going to church and you doing your job and you coming home. It's something sacred. It's something that you actually worship God. You have awe, like it said in the story, awe, respect. And you also need to have reverence and prayer. But these people didn't have that. So today, I want you to ask yourself, are our hearts temples of prayer or distraction? What tables might Jesus need to flip in us? What sins might we need to let Jesus flip over and turn them in? So our scripture, let me grab my Bible, and if you would open to the book of Luke, chapter 19, verses 45 through 48. And I'll be reading there when I open. Alright, here we go. He went into the temple and began to throw out those who were selling. And he said, "It is written, my house will be a house of prayer, but you have made it a den of thieves." Every day he was teaching in the temple. The chief priests, the scribes, and the leaders of the people were looking for a way to kill him. But they couldn't find a way to do it because all the people were captivated by what they had heard. So the first part of what we see is Jesus cleanses the temple. Jesus makes the whole temple go from a den of thieves with money and more money than actual hearts worshiping God. And we see that in verses 45 through 46 when he says, my house will be a house of prayer, but you have made it into a den of thieves. Because there was so much to buy. Instead of getting your own lamb, you would go get a lamb that they had for sale over there. Instead of giving your best, you would give their best, so that you could get the rewards from that. And Jesus needed to be killed. It's the second thing that we see. In verses 47 through 48, they said, we need to find a way to kill this man. But the twist is, they couldn't, because the whole crowd was captivated. They were in awe of him, because he was brave enough to say, no, this is wrong. This is wrong. What we're doing here is selling things. Selling doves, selling animals. This is not a mall. This is a temple of God, not a temple of thieves. It's the point that Jesus wanted to get. And he got that point. But the Pharisees and the scribes wanted to kill him because they were messing up their programs that they had going on. But the people were so in awe that if they tried to kill him or capture him, they would have a very big riot. Everyone would be angry and shouting, stop, for this guy did nothing wrong. Until the Pharisees, the religious leaders, come out with something that we'll find out later. Some key points that I see here is, my house will be a house of prayer, but you have made it into a den of thieves. God is a sacred God, and so he needs a sacred place to be worshipped, not a regular place where people are selling things. It's not. It's like worshiping inside of a Walmart. That is meant to be a place of worship, not a place where you buy things. Where you go in there and you walk in and, oh, you need to get this, you need to get this, you need to get this, you leave. It's where you go in and surrender everything that you have to God. And he takes care of that. But these people weren't following that. And Jesus came to change that and change the rest of eternity, the past, the present, and the future, by dying on the cross. And all people who were at the temple were captivated. That means they heard by really thinking on what Jesus said. They were sitting there listening to what he had to say, not shouting and getting angry at him. So, thank you for joining me again today, Holy Monday. And I will join you tomorrow, once again, for Holy Tuesday, April 15th, 2025, and we'll be continuing our Holy Week podcast. And if you have any problems or questions with viewing these things, please email me back at brozinacr@gmail.com in case you have any concerns or any problems with the way that you're viewing this. So I will see you guys later. Hope you have a blessed day.